Hey everyone, welcome back to Crush Medicals. Today, we're tackling a topic that's shrouded in mystery and often whispered about in hushed tones: toilet infections. Now, if you're picturing germs leaping from the toilet seat and magically infecting you, let me stop you right there. That's not how it works. The term toilet infection is a bit of a misnomer, often used to describe a range of infections that affect the urinary tract and genital area. In this video, we're going to break down some of the most common infections that often get lumped under this misleading umbrella term. We'll dive into what they are, what causes them, how you can recognize the symptoms, and most importantly, how to prevent them. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding these infections is the first step towards taking control of your health. So let's get right to it. Let's start with a common culprit: urinary tract infections, or UTIs, as they're more commonly known. UTIs happen when bacteria, most often from our own bodies, enter the urinary tract through the urethra and travel up to the bladder. Now, while public restrooms sometimes get a bad rap, the truth is, UTIs are rarely caused by contact with toilet seats. Instead, think of it this way: your urethra, the opening where urine exits, is like a gateway, and bacteria are opportunistic little critters always looking for a way in. Things like wiping back to front after using the bathroom, holding your pee for too long, or even dehydration can increase your risk. Symptoms of a UTI can be pretty clear: that constant urge to pee even when you just went, a burning sensation when you urinate, and sometimes even pain in your lower abdomen or back. If you're experiencing these symptoms, don't brush them off. A quick trip to your doctor for a urine test can confirm a UTI, and a course of antibiotics usually clears things right up. Next up, let's talk about yeast infections, another common visitor to the toilet infection party. Now, despite the name, yeast infections have nothing to do with toilets. They're caused by an overgrowth of a type of fungus called Candida, which naturally lives in the vagina. Think of it like a delicate ecosystem down there. When everything's in balance, Candida is a welcome guest. But certain things can throw off that balance, like taking antibiotics, hormonal changes, hello periods, or even wearing tight, sweaty clothes that trap moisture. So how can you tell if you have a yeast infection? Well, the telltale signs are intense itching and burning in the vaginal area, redness and swelling, and a thick white discharge that often looks like cottage cheese. Trust me, you'll know it when you see it. Now let's clear up the confusion around another common vaginal infection often mistaken for a toilet infection: bacterial vaginosis, or BV. Similar to yeast infections, BV is all about an imbalance in the vaginal ecosystem. But instead of an overgrowth of Candida, BV happens when there's an overgrowth of certain types of bacteria naturally found in the vagina, disrupting the delicate balance. Now, the good news is, BV is usually not sexually transmitted, but certain things can increase your risk, like douching, which by the way is a big no-no, having multiple sexual partners, or even just using scented soaps and washes down there. So how can you tell if it's BV and not something else? The most common symptom is a fishy odor, especially after sex. You might also notice a thin grayish-white or even greenish discharge. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: sexually transmitted infections, or STIs. Sometimes people mistakenly believe they've contracted an STI from a toilet seat. Let me be crystal clear: STIs are spread through sexual contact, not from sitting on public toilets. While some STIs can cause symptoms in the genital area, like itching, discharge, or pain during urination, it's crucial to remember that many STIs can be asymptomatic, meaning you won't experience any noticeable signs. That's why regular testing is so vital, especially if you're sexually active with multiple partners. Remember, early detection and treatment of STIs are crucial for protecting your health and the health of your partners. All right, let's bust some myths about toilet infections, because misinformation can be just as contagious as the infections themselves. First and foremost, you cannot get a UTI, yeast infection, or BV simply from sitting on a toilet seat. These infections are caused by bacteria or fungi already present in your body or introduced through other means, not by magical toilet germs. Another common misconception is that these infections are a sign of poor hygiene. While practicing good hygiene is essential for overall health, it's not the sole factor. Factors like hormonal changes, certain medications, and even genetics can play a role. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the real causes of these infections, we can ditch the fear-mongering and focus on prevention strategies that actually work. Now that we've busted some myths, let's talk prevention. The good news is, there are simple things you can do to drastically reduce your risk of these infections. First and foremost, practice good bathroom hygiene. That means wiping front to back after using the toilet, especially after a bowel movement, to prevent bacteria from spreading. Next, stay hydrated. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day helps flush out bacteria from your urinary tract, making it less likely for infections to take hold. And here's a tip that applies to both UTIs and yeast infections: pee after sex. This helps clear any bacteria that may have entered the urethra during intercourse. Let's zoom in on some specific hygiene practices that can make a world of difference. When it comes to your lady parts, less is more. Avoid douching, as it disrupts the natural balance of bacteria in the vagina, making you more susceptible to infections. Choose breathable cotton underwear and avoid tight-fitting pants, especially during workouts. Trapped moisture creates a breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. And when it comes to washing, stick to mild, unscented soaps and warm water. Your vagina is a self-cleaning oven. It doesn't need harsh chemicals. Finally, always change out of wet swimsuits or sweaty workout clothes promptly. Staying in damp clothing for extended periods creates a warm, humid environment that bacteria and yeast absolutely love. Public restrooms, those necessary evils, often get a bad rep when it comes to toilet infections. But don't worry, you can conquer those porcelain thrones with confidence. First and foremost, if you're a fan of hovering, I get it. But honestly, the risk of infection from sitting on a toilet seat is incredibly low. If you're still hesitant, those toilet seat covers exist for a reason. Always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water after using the restroom, especially before you eat or touch your face. And if you're in a stall without toilet paper, we've all been there. Don't panic. Just use a tissue or a piece of toilet paper from your purse. It's better to be prepared than sorry. Beyond hygiene, some simple lifestyle choices can contribute to long-term vaginal health. First up, let's talk about clothing. Opt for breathable fabrics like cotton for your underwear and avoid tight-fitting pants or clothing that traps moisture. Staying hydrated is crucial for overall health, including vaginal health. Drinking plenty of water helps flush out bacteria from your urinary tract, reducing the risk of UTIs. And last but not least, prioritize regular medical checkups, including pelvic exams and STI screenings. Early detection and treatment are key, and these checkups give your doctor a chance to catch any potential issues early on. That's it for today, folks. I hope this video has shed some light on the truth about toilet infections and empowered you with the knowledge to take control of your health. Remember, the information shared here is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. If you're experiencing any unusual symptoms down there, please don't self-diagnose. Reach out to your healthcare provider to get personalized advice and treatment. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Crush Medicals for more myth-busting, health-boosting content. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy.